Thank you for tuning in to Exeter TV. The meeting will be starting shortly. While we wait, let's learn more about Exeter TV. Exeter TV is the town's public and government access channels, available on Comcast channels 98 and 22. Channel 98 is your channel. If you have an idea for a program, want to host your own talk show, or submit a film, we're here to get your content on television. On Channel 22, we bring you live and replay coverage of government meetings and other town updates. A third channel, Blue Hawk Media, is operated by SAU 16 and can be found on Channel 13, with all your school sports, events, and meetings. You can watch Exeter TV online at exeternh.tv, Apple TV, and on Roku. Find us on social media for extra content. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell to get notified about live streams and new content. Tune in to our platforms every other Friday to watch the Exeter Biweekly Report with recaps of recent events, updates from town departments, and messages from nonprofits in your area. If you head to our website, exeternh.tv, we invite you to sign up to our newsletter to receive monthly updates about new content, upcoming meetings, and more. We'd like to thank you for taking the time to watch Exeter TV and hope that you tune in to our other content as well. thank you for tuning in to Exeter TV. The meeting will be starting shortly.
Exeter Planning Board of May 25th, 2023, 7 o'clock in the NOAC room. I'm Langdon Plummer, I'm chair of the board, and to my left is...
Aaron Brown.
Vice chair.
John Gruder.
Nancy Belanger, Select Board Representative.
And...
Gwen English.
Member. Thank you. Going to start today, this evening we have minutes from the 13th of April and the 11th of May. And our last meeting, I believe, we put the minutes of 11th of May on to be brought forth to this.
13th of April, I think, was tabled.
Yeah, these are the minutes from the last meeting. Yeah, so 13th of April we had. So, any comments, questions, notes, or?
I had one, Mr. Chair, on the April 13th minutes, line 184. Aaron, maybe you can help. Do you have them with you?
I can look on with line.
Okay.
Something I said.
The first sentence, it just doesn't, I don't really understand.
Number again?
184, I'm sorry.
184. What were you babbling about?
There's an O hanging at the end of the sentence, but... I remember you talking about it.
All right, so I was talking about whether they were changing something and a variance wouldn't be required in the future. That's what we were anticipating.
Oh, okay.
So one day, and then strike the necessary and just put A. So whether one day a variance would not be required.
Yeah.
Okay.
Remember that conversation?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
We'll find it.
That is a little bit just.
that's easy.
Odd type.
Thank you, Aaron.
Sure.
That was it for me, I think. Good minutes, again.
Anybody got a motion?
I move to accept the April 13th, 2023 draft minutes as amended.
Second?
Second, thank you. Those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Nays? Abstentions? Got those ones squared away. Now let's look at our last meeting.
No, I said, I wasn't at the meeting.
May 11th.
I know, I did.
Please. Anybody have any comments on that last meeting?
I just have a kind of a question for Dave. On line 101, is the 8 miles of bike path, this makes no difference in the correction of the minutes so much, but is that next year or this year? I thought you said they started it. Mr. Sharples indicated, Seabrook would be a challenge. The plan is 8 miles next year.
8 miles. It's about 2,500 feet a month is what their construction.
But they're starting it now.
So 2 miles every 2 months. I don't think I said 8 miles, but yes, they are. They've already started it. They're out there working.
Not next year. That was my.
They're out there working right now.
If they do 7 or 8.
They're like behind Home Depot in Northampton.
Yep. Down behind the airport, down to there.
Yeah, that's what they're starting, and they're going to do about 2,500 linear feet. They estimate 2,500 linear feet.
So you can just say that it started this year. Started already.
Started this year. Perfect.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Anything, Gwen?
No?
Looking for a motion, please?
I move to accept the May 11th, 2023 draft minutes for Planning Board as amended.
Second.
All right. Those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Nays? Abstentions? The ayes have it. Thank you very much in the audience for your patience. Before we go over the exciting minutes. All right. New business. Application of Richard and Debbie Schaefer for minor subdivision, existing 21 plus minus acre parcel of land located at 24 Powder Mill Road. Application is proposing to subdivide off 5.01 plus or minus acres parcel with a frontage on Powder Mill Road for a new residence. Subject property is located in the R1 Low Density Residential Zoning District. Tax map parcel number 102-4 and is planning case 23-3. And this case was tabled at this time to be heard, so we just pick up where we were. Henry, have you?
Yes.
Dave, do you have some things first?
Sure, I'll jump in.
Excuse me, Henry. That's okay. Don't get excited.
It's a two-lot, they're proposing a two-lot subdivision. You did see it before on April 13th, but it wasn't ripe at that time for planning board review. And the building inspector, code enforcement officer determined that it needed relief from the zoning board of adjustment. The applicant did appear before the zoning board of adjustment at the May 16th meeting, where they found that the common law, they determined that the common law standard applied and no relief was granted, so now it is ripe for a planning board review. It's pretty straightforward, two-lot subdivision, 21 acres total, they're carving off a 5-acre lot, and the remaining lot would be 16 acres, approximately, give or take. Now that the variance has, the zoning has been settled, it meets all the other, it meets all zoning requirements, and we have no concerns with the application. Do have the 2 standard conditions for a minor sub should the board decide to act on the application this evening. And no waivers are being requested or needed. Thank you.
Nice.
Can I ask just a question? Can you just, for those of us who aren't lawyers, can you just explain what the common law doctrine is and how it applies to this case? I don't really, I looked up common law and it's not straightforward, so I just am curious.
I think Dave's trying to say he's not a lawyer either.
No, I'm familiar with the doctrine and the standard that is required, but I'll just say that the zoning board determined that the common law standard was met.
Okay.
Ooh, that's a not comforting interpretation. My experience with our zoning board, and I have no problem saying that in public, that doesn't make me feel good.
No, that's fine.
Not anything reflected on you guys or your application at all. Just that.
There's some case law in New Hampshire on the common law. I can send you the most recent Supreme Court case on common law and the threshold and the bar that's needed to reach that. And I'd be happy to share that with the board, and you can.
Yeah, if you could send it to all of us.
Yeah, I'll send it to everyone. So, because it's everyone's individual opinion, is what it is. So, So I'll send you the case law that I'm aware of.
So good judgment can prevail.
But it doesn't, this is not under the planning board, the zoning is fine.
No, it just was.
It's all set.
Just to educate us and
well,
educate me, I just would like to know.
We are going through an educational process, Dave.
Right.
Aren't you teaching us every week? Isn't that the second half of our meeting?
Yeah,
Might be a good place to stop.
Not tonight, he's not ready.
You look like you're on the hot seat right now.
I'll send you the case law. I'll send you the case law that, there was one recent case about what the developer did. It was this, the ordinance comes along and he had a project going and the town said, it didn't, the new ordinance applied, and he appealed, and actually, I think the lower court actually voted in favor of the town, and then they went to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court turned the decision around and kind of laid out what the common law, what a common law thresholds are. No legal cases, it's not 2 + 2 is 4. It's, it's a bar, it's a threshold that you have to, it's a significant threshold that you have to, that particular person had built 70% of a subdivision.
Wow.
And it was, it was like, you'd read the case law, it's a high threshold, in my opinion.
Yeah, that would be really interesting, actually.
Yeah, I'll provide that, but not the subject of tonight, so.
Now the floor is yours, Henry. Thank you so much for your patience.
Well, thank you. Very interesting. For the record, I'm Henry Boyd with Millennium Engineering.
Thank you.
And Chrissy Ruff is here with her lovely mom, Debbie Schaefer. And we were here a month or so ago, I guess a month ago, And I wanted to thank you for, I know you had some deliberation amongst yourselves based on some executive action or executive session you went into based on some information provided by your attorney, and I was interested to hear what that was, but I understand it's privileged, so I think you wisely sent us to the zoning board. The zoning board, as Mr. Sharple said, that they believed that we did not need a variance. We had applied for a variance at the direction of this board and the town planner and the CEO, Doug Eastman. The zoning board is a court. They are quasi-judicial, and they make decisions, and in this case, they felt that we did meet a common law vesting standard because of them kind of get caught in the whirlwind, which I think you guys appreciated that as well. And I wanted to tell you personally that it meant a great deal to me and the Schaefers that you did let us present that case to explain what was going on. That new subdivision ordinance, obviously, is the zoning ordinance is important. There's a reason for it in place, but in this case, as I stated before, there's no harm to come through this, and I think that the zoning board saw fit to that this would be designed in such a way that it kind of doesn't harm anything. And just to reiterate, the reason that the town, in my opinion, did it is because they did not want any septic systems that could possibly be inundated with floodwater. So we made the zoning board comfortable to the fact that that wouldn't happen. And I'd just like to reiterate that to you folks tonight, that they essentially are right at that elevation now with their ground that floodwater could happen, but the bottom of the septic system that we apparently don't need relief from is going to be nearly 3 feet above the ground. So there's no harm to come through it, and I just appreciate the process. I'm glad that we went through it, and it makes a lot of sense to me. We did apply for the variance. We were ready to argue, and they had determined, as the quasi-judicial court that they are, that it wasn't necessary. So we're back in front of you. I went over the plan pretty significantly last time. I can do it again if you want, but it's a 5-acre subdivision with 350 feet of frontage, and as Mr. Sharple said, we meet all of the criteria. So if you don't want to hear me talk, which I understand, I'd ask that we get a favorable look on this.
May I ask one question before? What did you say, because I was going to suggest the planning board incorporate that in a condition of approval. The bottom of the septic system will be a minimum of blank above the base flood elevation.
Yeah, we haven't designed it yet, but one of the things that I never got to share with the zoning board, I think we did submit it though, is I drew a cross-section of what the septic system would look like, and if memory serves, I should have brought it tonight, is we're about 2.8 feet above the ground, I believe. So it's more than 2 feet.
But the ground is in the base flood.
It slightly. So I think that the ground is the base flood elevation is.
Well, technically by the firm panels it
Actually,
is.
look at these ladies.
Yeah.
Isn't that something?
Business owner.
Yeah, technically by the firm panel it's in. If you go by the elevation, then I get it.
Every day I'm saying, you know what?
Takes a village.
Woman power. Way to go, ladies.
So
Okay, we'll just-
the seasonal high water table was elevation 33.2. The existing ground elevation is at 34.2, and so I was right. Once in a while, man, get it right. The base flood elevation is 0.2 of a foot, or just under 3 inches above the ground. So in theory, the flood water, based on the 100-year flood, could be 3 inches above the ground.
Okay.
The bottom of the, so the bottom of the effluent disposal area, and you can have this for the records, is be located 2.8 feet above the base flood.
So the disposal area is what? Is that the pipe and the stone?
That's the actual leach, the pipe and the stone. In this case.
Not the sand underneath it?
Yeah, and in this case, one of the things, the promises that we had made to the zoning board initially, that this would be an enviroseptic system.
Yes.
So that it would have not just a standard stone and pipe, but it would have enviroseptic pipe in it for better treatment.
But the sand underneath it, where the effluent goes.
Right.
That is not above that marker, or is that also?
So the bottom of the stone bed is 2.8 feet above, so there will be naturally sand below that.
All right.
You have to get out, you can't have it in the air, John.
Yeah, can't be in the air.
No, I know. But I'm saying, but the effluent goes into that sand.
Sure.
Right?
Yep.
And that area will, are we still above the floodplain we're trying to stay above?
Well, if you're worried about the treatment of the water
Sand
before it
underneath
gets there,
It's part of the system, though.
so I know we're not in Maine, but I'll talk about Maine. In New Hampshire, they would actually allow you to get to 2 feet from the seasonal high water table to the bottom of the bed. We're not doing that. We're going to have a 4-foot separation. We're not asking for any waivers so that there's additional treatment. But if you were in Maine, you can do it within 18 inches of the seasonal high water table. So the theory is that through that 18 inches, before you get to the groundwater, that system has already filtered out all of the bad bugs. But the main issue here in the floodplain ordinance was the fact that that system, if it were built below the base flood level, it could be totally inundated, or worse, even wiped out. We're substantially above it, so that can't happen.
So your bottom of your actual system is gonna be 2.8 feet. And then
Above the
there's,
base.
I'll call it a buffer zone between that and the seasonal high, right?
Yeah, it's all sand.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's exactly 4.0 feet from the bottom of the system
If it's not, it's not.
to the estimated seasonal high water.
Correct.
Yeah. Yeah, so we have doubled, if you have a
Above estimate.
enviroseptic system, the state allows you to take a 50% reduction on that, to go from 4 feet to 2 feet. We're not doing that.
Yeah.
We're keeping the 4 foot of sand above the high water table.
4 feet, okay.
Yeah.
4 feet.
And what is this
That's a
environmental
lot. 4
system?
feet's a lot.
It's
Above the high water.
the environoseptic pipe is
2.8
actually
above the flood.
it's actually a
Right,
pipe
right.
that's lined with a
100-year
geotextile
flood
fabric.
belt.
So what it allows the biomat to form in the system. A lot of communities actually go farther than they should with things, and they say, well, the state says the system should be a certain size, we're going to double it, which it doesn't help, because if you have too large of a system,
Right.
the
Doesn't break
biomat never
down.
forms.
No, it doesn't work
And
right.
the biomat is actually the creatures that get in there that break down the effluent.
Yeah.
So this pipe is specifically designed, it's a HDPE pipe, but inside of it, it's got a wall in it, and within that is the mesh. So as the water goes through it, it actually forms. So, and then that's the reason that they let the state let you take a reduction to the high water table, but in this case, we're not. We're not.
Any other questions? Concerns? Thoughts? Are we comfortable to find any conditions?
Do you want to ask if they want to speak against the project? They're-
Yeah, you do have to.
Do it, though, not to the public. So, anyone who would like to come to speak about this case? Any comments in favor or concerns? Please step to the microphone, and we will step back to allow you to speak so that our viewers at home will know who's speaking and can understand what's going on. So if anybody would like to speak, please step at this time. Seeing none, I'll close the public session and bring it back to the board.
Do a good job
Now, are
of
we, I get paid well.
that. Have you done that before? You get paid by the word? 0 times a number of words is still 0.
Right.
I think it's very straightforward. I think they've done their work. I think they've done a good job. It sounds like the zoning board was also empathetic with your situation, made it easier, which is good to hear. Although, I am always critical of that board. I can say that.
You have.
I will again, too.
Make a motion.
So I think I have no questions. Do you?
I don't, but I just wanted to thank you. I watched the zoning board. I understand, the process took a little longer, but I just want to say I appreciate your attitude. You worked with us. It does help. We were all just trying to dot the i's and cross the t's. So thank you for your patience and your understanding.
Sure, yeah. Thank you.
Thank you for keeping Henry straight. I would have to say that myself sometimes, We're boys.
I promised her dinner.
Here we go again. Did you have any thoughts or concerns?
No.
Well, I'm open to
The conditions?
conditions, if you got
Yeah,
those.
DWG file of the plan shall be provided to the town planner showing all property lines and monumentation prior to signing the final plans. This plan must be an NAD 1983 state plan, New Hampshire FIPS 2800 feet coordinates. All monumentation shall be set in accordance with section 9.25 of the site plan review and subdivision regulations prior to signing the plans, final plans, sorry. And 3, as proposed by the applicant, the bottom of the effluent disposable area on Lot A shall be a minimum of 2.8 feet above the base flood elevation. And that is okay. Is that okay with you? Because that's what this says.
Yep.
Okay, all right.
And a monumentation certificate, right?
We don't need a certificate.
No?
You just need to tell me you did it and before you sign the final plan. The final plan should say set.
Yeah.
And your stamp's on it, so I trust you that you're not gonna put set unless it's
I
set.
usually submit one to you, though.
Oh, if you do the building department, then fine, that'll work too. But we don't require that.
All right.
That might be through the building department. So,
Okay.
those 3 conditions, sorry.
Someone like to make a motion? I will, sure. Thanks for the job
Pointed
tonight.
to me. I move that the request of Richard and Debbie Schaefer, Planning Board Case 22-3 for minor subdivision approval be approved with the following conditions that were just stated, the 3 conditions stated by the town planner.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Do a hand vote, please. Those in favor, raise your right hands. Those opposed? Abstentions? Look like you're ready to go.
Thank you. Good luck.
It's good to see you all again.
Enjoy it.
Likewise.
Henry, be good.
Have a good dinner.
Yeah.
Anyway, welcome
care.
back to Exeter.
Thanks, see ya. Good luck.
Have a good
Good luck.
dinner.
See ya. Good luck fishing.
Thank
See you out there.
Is there any master plan discussion?
Nothing really, right?
No.
Not tonight, thank you.
No.
Land use regulations review, no, we're going to put that on hold. Teacher's been dismissed, superintendent said he can go tonight, he's feeling lousy.
Yeah.
So, and any field modifications, Dave, that we need to be aware of?
Yes, there was one. The 32 Charter Street, at the end of Charter Street, that single-family home that was there with all the stuff in the wetlands.
Condos.
The 11 condos, yeah.
You something with the power?
Yeah.
Yeah, you told us.
Oh, I told you that
Yeah, you
already?
did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then, nope.
Thank you, I heard that once before, thank you.
Yeah, it was just a couple weeks ago, right?
Well, you can finish it up, Gwen didn't hear it. She wasn't here.
I heard
They
it.
just, they couldn't get a certain transformer that they needed from Unitil, so they needed to go across and put a pole on the property and then go underground. They couldn't get the transformer that could go right off the one in the right-of-way. And usually we do that anyway. We allow them to go overhead onto the property and then underground. But they're splitting and they're going over, down, and they got 2 transformers split, one for each of the buildings, so.
And that property, didn't we insist that they put in a couple of pipes under the parking lot to allow for charging, or was that another one? for EV charging?
I don't think we had the regulations in place at that time. If they were, then, oh, no, we didn't. The regulations might have been in place, but for its garage, when they have
They had it in the
garages.
garage, I think, but we did
Yeah.
talk about that.
Yes, I know we talked about it. but I-
Yeah, we talked about it,
Yeah.
and, you know, people have
Then the
garages.
transformer they could have put in was too small, they had to get,
Yeah. So, and no bond releases.
We're all set already.
Oh, there is about bond releases, though? Oh.
Excuse me?
About bond performance guarantees, we haven't released any, but finance brought to our attention, not just planning, but a lot of them through the planning office, escrows and bonds from 20 years ago.
Oh,
And we've been going through this whole list because there was, I
Find one on Christina Estates,
don't know, yeah.
$5,000,
Maybe.
disappeared.
I don't know.
I do.
That doesn't sound, well, that doesn't sound familiar on the
No.
note.
Damn.
But we're going through them all. Most of them, we just said, give it back. Find out who it is and give it back.
yeah.
Right here.
And then they're working on that.
And
And
then we
there's
have
a
the
couple
rest
that
of the
need
plan.
more,
Really?
there's a couple that need more research, because all of them,
Christina Estates, Deer Haven Drive.
Deer Haven Drive,
Yeah,
yeah.
this guy, right here.
I have the list. I'll be happy to share it.
Please do, because I've inquired about it a couple times and they couldn't tell me what happened to it.
Okay.
And it
What was it for?
It was for, do you know that area? 111A to Dogtown Road? Do you know that area a little bit?
A little bit. Where you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why it's this guy.
Yeah.
So, we put $5,000 in escrow when we did the neighborhood to move a pole on Dogtown, one way or the other, figure out what they wanted to do. That, you know, it's a pole, you come off of 111A onto Dogtown, it's
one
right
right
in
on
the
the
middle of
intersection there.
Dogtown.
Yeah, they
It's really
changed the
awkward.
intersection,
Yeah.
so you have to
You
go,
don't know
One
where
way or the
that's
other, it's
still
very
there.
awkward.
yeah.
Yeah, it's still,
They never moved it.
it's right in the middle of the road.
But
I thought they
the
decided
town
not to.
required that?
Yes, sir.
But the town doesn't own the pole.
It was a requirement, it was a condition of approval
It's on the
for that to
board.
be resolved, because
Remember.
us putting in 14 homes right on the end of Dogtown was gonna create more accidents than you could ever have imagined in the town of Exeter. So we had to
The
deal with that
pole's still
whole,
hanging there, huh?
I thought-
you know how it goes.
They've changed it so that you used to be able to, if you were going out of town, you could still take the left. Now you have to take the left, but go around the
Go
pole.
around the
It's kind of
pole.
like a little, consider
Made it like a
it.
Always
one-way.
makes me
remember
nervous.
that?
when-
Now, no, it
I thought they
does.
decided to leave it, that they
They
weren't
did
going to
decide to leave it.
But I thought that was decided here, not that you had there was a condition and something.
No, it was a condition and we had to put money in escrow.
Okay.
It might have been,
okay.
I mean, I'm not sure at what level, Gwen, to be honest, that was exercised on. It could have been internal post-planning board.
Maybe.
You know, me and some partners bought that project as an approved project. I didn't come here and do all that stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And that was one of the things we had to do, is put that 5,000 in escrow in the town of Exeter while that was resolved. You put up like, if you do a development like that, you put, you bond as well. Like you gotta build a road, then you bond it, and there's a maintenance bond that doesn't get released. It was part of all that whole process.
Yeah.
And the town never released that because they weren't sure what they were gonna do, blah, blah, blah. And then I inquired again, like, well, we don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean you don't know anything about it?
Do you have
I
any
certainly remember the
paperwork
discussion.
on that, or
I was not
cash check, or
I was not
whatever?
the finance guy, so Carl, my partner, couldn't find that when I asked him. This is a couple years ago now. This is a shot in the dark at this
So
point.
you never had it, you don't have any evidence of when it was and what you
Other
paid?
than we got an approved project and it was a condition, so clearly we
Understood,
satisfied
but,
it.
well,
Well, we didn't satisfy, we wouldn't get a building permit.
I wonder why they wanted 5,000.
maybe.
Instead of a bond on that. Why wouldn't they-
We did a cash
Not
bond
always.
anyway.
Anyway,
Okay, to be continued.
That's an interesting thing, though.
And it was cash.
Yes.
Okay. All right, I'll
You
look
can
at it.
find it, he'll buy you dinner.
Unmarked bills.
So we're gonna start giving that, I'll share, once we finish that project, because finance can't, I didn't even know they existed. I mean, there's only a couple that I'm aware of that since
No, it
I was
happens.
here, and they're still active.
Yeah.
So they're not gonna be returned, but they're all old. They're most of them from like prior to 2009.
Yeah.
I mean, they're at least 15 years old, so, and there's quite a bit of money in there. I mean,
Right, it adds up.
it's over $1 million.
Wow.
And we can't get any interest on that, we're holding it, huh?
Oh, they get, whoever
Whoever
it's
does-
owed
they get
gets
interest.
interest. I mean, you'd see, like one, put 50,000 for some improvement, and now it's $54,190,
Right.
because it does
Yeah.
gather interest while it sits in there.
But it doesn't help the town.
No, it's
Sits
just,
there.
I think people just didn't want
Well, it
to,
cleans up
like,
the
it's a lot of work to try to figure out.
Yeah.
It's just, first of all, what was it for?
Right.
Is it just sitting there by mistake? Did we actually spend it from another account?
Right.
So we're gonna give back money that we already gave, so we gotta figure that out,
Yeah,
make sure
Yeah,
that,
it's a process.
follow the trail. Then, if we determine, yes, we've never used this, because some are clear, it's like, it talks about things that just haven't been done, So some, they're crystal clear that they haven't been done. So then we have to find whoever that person is still exists.
Yeah, right.
Because a lot of developers, they create LLCs for each project.
Right.
And then that project ends and they dissolve them.
Right.
And so the research begins to try to find who these people are, because it's been a lot of years. Some of them we know.
Yeah.
But a lot of them we don't.
Yeah.
So we're going through that process, and when we start releasing them, I will
I'm
update
sure the
you.
auditors will be happy with that.
That's interesting.
Yeah. I sold you the property.
Okay, moving right along,
Right.
we eagerly await
gonna get-
the next report that you found one. Not on the agenda here, but I'd asked Barb to put in the committee assignments, because we didn't talk about those at our last meeting. So they're here, so for you to look at, and there's apparently no committees that I see on this list that no one is on, or a committee that we're not represented
Mind reading
on.
them?
Sure. They're not with your material?
I didn't bring mine.
Oh, okay.
I didn't
get
see them in the material.
What was it? I'm sorry, was,
Any surprises?
Rockham Planning Commission is Gwen, and her term is till 4/23.
What committee?
Rockham Planning Commission. And Pete Cameron's, he's good till 4:30, 34.
423's gone by.
Well, yeah, 23's gone. So
23's gone.
Glenn and Lang are good.
So Barb said we're all set, but we would need to be reappointed
Okay.
if we could tonight. And then Gwen is on the Historic District Commission, and John's on Heritage Commission. And the Housing Advisory Committee is Pete Cameron. And the Master Planning Oversight Committee is Aaron, Pete, and John. So
So those don't have dates, but this one does?
ours has the date. I guess a 3-year appointment, is it?
You guys want to keep doing it?
Yes,
How do you
please.
get appointed?
I believe that, does this board take action on that? Yeah.
I don't have your rules of
does it go to the
procedure
select
that,
board?
I think you have the authority to appoint your
Yeah.
subcommittees.
I think so.
And then does it
Your
get
subcommittees, like the
select board?
Master Plan Oversight Committee, is a subcommittee of the planning board. The other boards, I'd have to read the
The
plan.
RPC needs to know we've been
representative.
appointed, basically.
I don't think the select board ever put Pete on the housing advisory committee, the planning board did.
Okay.
That's
All
my
right.
memory.
Okay.
So,
All right.
But you put people on Rockingham Planning Commission, right? Do you approve that?
You're the rep from the planning board, though. So, no, I don't think so.
You
but,
don't?
I mean, we can double check it. You
Yeah,
can table
I'm
this for.
confused.
Well, you
until the
can
next-
appoint for here, and then if you also need the select board to do it, you can follow up with that too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just not sure. Did Pete weigh in that he wants to continue
He's not
No, he's good till
expired.
next year,
Yeah.
on the housing advisory
24.
committee?
I mean,
Okay.
30, yeah, 24,
Well, no, that's the Rockingham Planning Commission.
RPC.
I thought I heard someone say he was 2023 on, but
Well,
it's hard. I don't.
24.
Thank you. Of course, I put
I'm
my
sorry.
glasses away. So Gwen, Pete, and then where was the housing advisory? I can get there. Oh, there's no date. so-
Yeah, there's no date on those.
No bid on
See
it.
it better now?
No.
I'm having that same
No.
issue now. It's like this right here, but out here I'm okay.
Yeah.
It's an age thing.
I can look on the town website not on my phone. Just to see if there's, on the Housing Advisory Committee, list of members, if there's a date on that.
There should be.
I know he and I talked about it a few housing meetings ago.
Somehow I think these have been kind of annual things.
It all depends on if they have terms or not. I thought everything had a term, to be honest, but
Why don't we table this till next time?
Okay.
It sounds like everyone's agreed.
Table next time, yeah.
Well, your two people that are expired, we can
Yeah.
handle that.
Okay, let's do that.
Let's do that, and
Yeah,
that'll be
at
done.
least from here.
Yeah, from here.
And if
Yep.
you need something at the select board, you can
Yep.
follow up
Yeah.
with that.
Yeah.
Right, yep.
I think
But
that
here,
makes sense.
well, I think it's not a vote, it's you, isn't it? Lang?
Does anyone have their planning handbook? It's in the rules.
sorry, don't have that either.
Okay.
I'm not as
We
prepared
can
as I
vote.
usually am. I know.
I don't think we've ever voted before on any
Yeah, I
committees.
don't remember either. You just.
It's always when you-
When you're not.
Whoever's not in the
you're
room.
at a meeting. Yeah, exactly.
Wait, how come Pete's not on all of them?
He's not here, he's not there.
So I can tell, from the select board part of things.
Yes.
If somebody wants to be reappointed, they get notified from I almost said Sherry, oh my God, Sherry's been gone for how long? From Pam McAvoy, she sends out an email and asks if they want to stay on. And then the select board reappoints, but that was done several meetings ago.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
I'm just gonna say logistically, I'd say it's up to you guys to, if they want to stay on it, it's not like you vote. They just want to stay on it,
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
That's what I think too. And if you guys both want to stay on it, then
And if it's,
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
it's,
Yeah, it's just the chair has to notify Pam that you're still on it, and they update the town website.
Yeah, okay.
I will do that.
And if we're wrong, we can do it again
Paper?
in 2 weeks.
that
or
bear is out there.
Yep.
Sure is.
And my neighbor,
we don't have a bear committee, we're trying to get this resolved.
Oh, and now the
done.
papers
It's
say that we have a
Done. Yep, I'm
bobcat.
going to talk
Done
to
deal.
Pam about
We
it.
got Bob.
there's
coming
a
to
big
work.
male as well. Because my immediate neighbor
Thought so.
came, he said 10 feet from that thing. He
Well,
said,
that was over
I've seen pictures of the
Bucket
male.
Road, and they've
Oh
had
my
other-
God. The mom and the babies were in our yard.
Oh, they were?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty, yeah.
Touring around the
Two
whole
of them?
general neighborhood,
That's
yeah.
pretty neat.
It was very
They're all
cool.
behind us, Gwen, because I have seen so much bear scat. You can't imagine hiking with my dog.
Like filled with bird food.
Yes, yes. Well, bird seed and
Bird
berries.
seed.
Some berries. I don't know where they're getting those, but
I don't
it's
either.
pretty interesting.
I love.
And I started thinking I was crazy. I'm like, this can't be bear stuff, And then that all started happening. I'm like, it definitely is. That's
Yeah, I was
because I
glad
haven't
to get in
seen.
touch with you because you told me about it
Yeah.
way before all this happened.
no,
And
it's
then
pretty neat.
kind of out of the blue, they were.
Well, now I'm nervous with my dogs because
Yeah.
Yeah.
my dogs are stupid. You know what I mean?
it's
And
a-
cubs, you worry about
Oh,
mommy with cubs,
Okay, of
right?
course you did.
do.
So we came up with our own conclusions, now you have
What
the
did
actual,
what did you have?
you can tell.
Okay,
me
so,
what, right.
it's what I thought, it's the planning board has the authority to appoint committees. The board shall have the authority to appoint, upon the majority vote of its members, one or more subcommittees to assist in the performance of its duties.
Yeah, that-
So those, and the master plan and so forth, those are committees of this board.
Yeah.
Subcommittee, yeah.
But it doesn't,
yeah.
it talks, that's how that goes. You guys vote,
All right.
on appointees to committees, and you can create and abolish them as you see fit. But commissions, regional boards, the planning board shall request that the appointments from among its members as representatives thereto be made by the Board of Selectmen or Select Board,
Gwen.
as long as the Select Board continues to be the body with the authority to appoint. And such appointees shall make regular reports to the planning board during public meeting, keep the chairman and the town planner informed of important developing issues.
So somehow Gwen was missed in everyone else's reappointment, so maybe you could just reach out to Nico about getting that on the next agenda.
Oh,
so she
bang
can.
as well.
So I would say the planning board, not the chair. It says the planning board shall, so I
No,
would think that's in the
about her
total.
appointment on the
No,
Rockland
understood,
Planning
but
Commission?
someone says
Oh,
the
okay.
chair or I think it says the planning board,
No, we
doesn't
thought we
say
didn't have
the
to vote,
chairman.
but we still have to vote to reappoint even the subcommittees then, from what you just
It just says
said.
the planning board shall request that the appointments,
Okay,
whatever that involves.
So
I
why
guess
don't
you-
we vote
just to.
to have you, our representatives, and request that have someone make a request of the select board to reappoint you
Yes,
two
exactly.
for another term.
Yeah.
I make a motion.
Thank you.
And I'll second.
Moving second, then discussion. Those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? So be it.
When you can't oppose, doesn't it?
I will,
You can't say you'll do it and then oppose.
I'll talk with Pam, see what we can do there.
Filibuster.
Yeah.
Okay, nothing else before the order? We gotta send our town planner home to get better?
Yes, we
so-
do.
Yeah.
Town plan
Looking a
is
little under the weather, is he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got the vid?
He came just so we could get through what we needed to,
You look good,
so,
but feeling less
so
than,
thank you for,
No, you look tired.
yeah.
Looks a little,
It's hard to
peaked.
tell tonight.
You're
Thank
red.
you for-
Yeah, you're red.
Thank you for getting us through tonight
No,
so we could
no,
get the applicant done.
are Celtics playing tonight? Can you
yes,
do
they
that?
are.
Oh,
I won't.
Coincidence?
You're
I
faking
think
it.
not.
oh, man.
So,
The way
are
they've
we
been playing,
done?
even
Can
though they
I,
won a game.
Yeah.
motion to adjourn?
Yeah.
Sure.
Motion to adjourn, sounds
Okay,
good.
any seconds?
Not to push you along,
Second.
but
Aye.
Stand adjourned?
Second eye.
Thank you for tuning in to Exeter TV. Exeter TV is the town's public and government access channels, available on Comcast channels 98 and 22. Channel 98 is your channel. If you have an idea for a program, want to host your own talk show, or submit a film, we're here to get your content on television. On Channel 22, we bring you live and replay coverage of government meetings and other town updates. A third channel, Blue Hawk Media, is operated by SAU 16 and can be found on Channel 13, with all your school sports, events, and meetings. You can watch Exeter TV online at exeternh.tv, Apple TV, and on Roku. Find us on social media for extra content. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell to get notified about live streams and new content. Tune in to our platforms every other Friday to watch the Exeter Biweekly Report, with recaps of recent events, updates from town departments, and messages from nonprofits in your area. If you head to our website, exeternh.tv, we invite you to sign up to our newsletter to receive monthly updates about new content, upcoming meetings, and more. We'd like to thank you for taking the time to watch Exeter TV and hope that you tune in to our other content as well.